Hello and welcome to day 7. We are so excited. I have such a dynamic lineup for you all today. So I know I tell you every time, get your notepad ready, lean a little closer to your screen, all the goodies. But I'm telling you this time, if you didn't do it yet, now is a great time to pull those notes out because I know you're going to get some nuggets to walk away with. I won't get too greedy because I'm ready to jump in because I know that this topic is one that many of us struggle with. And we've talked about everything from planning to preparation, leaving the toxicity and people and all those things. And today it's all about adopting a positive mindset. One of my favorite verses that came to mind, you can see that going down there, Philippians 4:8, and it reminds us to think on those things that are good. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. And so today we're really focused on adopting that positive mindset. And these powerhouse women who are ready to come on stage are going to share their personal experiences and tips and things that you can use as you approach this year to really work on that mindset. So our first guest, such a powerhouse. She's the epitome of a powerful, positive mindset. I think she's like a media mogul. She does so much for women and empowerment. And so, welcome. First up, we have superstar Galit.
I was like, who's she talking about? Isn't it funny, Erica? It's always like, who are they talking about?
I feel like I'm always so excited to see you, Galit, because I know that on or off stage, you really show up so much for so many women, and it's just from such a sincere place. So I'm just excited. I always love just any opportunity to connect with you and speak with you. But I would love for you to introduce yourself. I said I wasn't going to introduce everyone, but it's tough. But yeah, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself and what you're most excited
Absolutely. Hi, everybody. I'm Galit Ventura Rosen. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I don't live in a hotel on the Strip. I have been an entrepreneur for over 27 years. When my friends were trying to figure out what job to get after college, I decided I didn't want someone telling me what I could or couldn't do. So I started my own commercial real estate firm. I've been very blessed to build it into an over $700 million business. I also run operations for my family's construction business because we build for our own investments. I started an amazing group called Everyday Women during COVID because we wanted to show women how they could get clients consistently without racing and chasing afterwards. And that movement has grown to 30,000 women, which is crazy. I have 3 fur babies, 3 grown adult children, and I am married to an amazing, amazing man. And I'm the author of The Successful Women's Mindset.
I told y'all, I tried to give y'all the heads up. So, Galit, I'm so excited. I'll be bringing you back up in just a moment, but I'm really excited because as you all can see, it's just your humility and how you just continue to show up that I know is going to bless so many people tonight. So,
I'm excited. Thank you.
Yes. Next up, if you have been wondering, how do I convert better? How do I just get myself together? However, you're showing up this year as a speaker, entrepreneur, in whatever capacity, I know that Kelly has your back. So I'm going to let her introduce herself and tell you a little more. But Kelly, welcome to the event tonight for day 7.
Thank you so much for having me. My name is Kelly Harris, and like you said, I am a conversion copywriter, and I'm also a marketing strategist. So my job is to help you make your message matter more so that you can create the kind of impact that you want to create. And so I'm all about connecting and literally helping people create their movements and their legacies.
Awesome. So you all, as you can see, we're just getting started. Thank you so much, Kelly. And now our next guest, you glow girl, because she is a visionary leader. She is faith-filled. She is just such a dynamic powerhouse who also has a heart for women and purpose and walking in your purpose. So welcome with me, Narcissa. How are you doing tonight?
I am great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm Narcissa Mara, lifestyle content creator, blogger, influencer, owner of CEO of Glow Girl Unlimited LLC. Just excited to share and continue to encourage women to glow up in their lives. That is my motto, to glow and grow through life one moment at a time. And I'm excited to share how I've taken a rough moment in my life and let my light shine. So thank you for having me.
Yes. Well, thank you for being here. And you all, as if it wasn't enough already, I know you're already like, oh my goodness, this is such a great lineup. We also have TEDx speaker, another powerhouse who's ready. She can deliver a keynote with 5 seconds notice. And truly, yet again, someone that has a heart to empower and inspire other women. Welcome with me to the stage, Dr. India White. How are you doing?
Hello, everyone. I'm doing well. I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much, Erica, for having us here. My name is Dr. India White, everybody. I'm a TEDx speaker, author of over 60 books. I also author math textbooks with Savvas Learning, and I'm a national education consultant. And my whole purpose is to cultivate grit in leaders across the nation, actually across the globe, so that we can continue to bridge the achievement gap and that we can continue to cultivate grit in our corporate areas of leadership and thrive.
I'm just over here, 3-time graduate. You just casually toss, I just do math textbooks, just so many dynamic things. So I'm really excited, and thank you, Dr. India, for being here this evening. I'm going to bring up Galit as well to join us first on the stage with Dr. India. You all, we're talking about a positive mindset, and I know we're hearing all the achievements, which are phenomenal. But my question to you, has there ever been a time where you had to push past, or even at the height of your success, have you ever still had to work on your mindset and keep that positive mindset, even though everything says you should be positive? You're already, you're so successful. And if so, just can you tell us a little bit about your experience of keeping a positive mindset? And we can start with you, Galit. Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know I was going to have Dr. India go first. I'm going to share with you right now every single day. The honest truth is every single day. I'm going through it right now. It's only January 16th. I think it's the 16th or the 15th. I don't even know. But I'm going to tell you, even just with a little over 2 weeks in this year, I already found myself yesterday trying to upper limit myself and stop myself from the year that I know is coming, which is going to be my most successful year and my most successful financial year. And I think what happens, in all honesty, Erica, is even those of us that live, breathe, sleep, and eat positive mindset, we still have to work on ourselves every day, because none of us are where we want to be completely. We're always on our way, especially a lot of the women that like to listen to you and I and the other fabulous women here. They're always wanting to embrace and grow. So for me right now, what I found out yesterday was my anxious feelings were showing up in my body, even though my mind was calm. I had to stop and recognize that I was getting very uncomfortable, because I'm doing so many new things and I have so many of my goals right in front of me, ready to grab with clients and big, really big projects and deals, that I had to just stop myself and be aware. And the awareness is the number one thing that has always worked for me, ladies, is recognizing and knowing what I was trying to do and stopping myself in my tracks and saying, I'm not going there. I am not self-sabotaging myself. I am not allowing myself to be overwhelmed. I know exactly what it takes, and I've been working for this all of my life.
That's so good. I love that too, just awareness, because I feel like, and I love that you share that, Galit, and thank you for being so transparent, because I know people can look at someone like yourself and it's like, oh, see, she's different because she doesn't even struggle, or, she's already done all these things. But to hear you say that, stopping it in the moment, because it's so easy for us to start sending out the invitations to the pity party and we're like, oh, woe is me, I can't show up anymore. So that's so good. That y'all write that down. Awareness. It takes awareness. Dr. India, what would you say? How are you able to continue to, stand in that positive mindset?
Yeah, sure. So I love grit. I love everything about just understanding how to cultivate grit. And I always start off with understanding a growth mindset. And then that leads to also building resilience and then self-efficacy. And then, of course, keeping yourself accountable with time management. But when looking at that, when you're talking about overcoming those negative thoughts and those fears of failure, you have to start looking at that area of self-efficacy, which I talk about not only in my research at the University of Florida. I talk about that in my grit framework and in my grit workbooks that I do with corporate leaders and throughout the nation with educators. And so what I do is I use my advice and I use what research says as well. And I find that many people do struggle with that imposter syndrome or that fear of failure. And they feel like they just, maybe that goal's too big, or maybe I'm just not fit. Maybe I don't know if I really can do it. And, I love the honesty that was just shared, because I too have found myself in a place of, well, I'm not sure, that imposter syndrome, or I don't know if I have what it takes. And learning how to believe in yourself enough to say, no, I'm here at the table. I'm going to get it done. And matter of fact, through grit, I'm going to exceed my expectations. So I want to encourage everybody out there to, just choose to hope again, choose to believe in yourself again, use grit, but understand that, you're not the very first person to sit at the table to conquer such great, tasks ahead of you. And that if others have done it before you, I'm sure there's enough energy, there's enough faith in the air for you to do it as well. So I just want to leave you guys with that encouragement.
That's so good. And I want to do a deep dive into grit. We can't right this second. I'm going to try to squeeze it in so that for those that are listening and they're hearing you say grit, that they can really have the full understanding, because that's such a powerful concept. And I just don't want I don't want y'all to skim over any of this stuff lightly, because these women that you are hearing from, they did not get to, Galit just said she built a $700 million business. Dr. White has graduated more times than many of us can even pray for or imagine, and imparted so much education and wisdom, literally reaching people around the world. So I hope you understand, and I appreciate all of you ladies for even taking time tonight to just come out here and pour out freely to others. So that grit, we're going to dig into it, Dr. India, if we get a second. Yes. So I'm going to bring you up, Kelly and Narcissa, because again, when we think about adopting that positive mindset, and I know, Kelly, when you talk about conversions and sales pages, and those things can be so defeating, where you put yourself out there and it's like you have a 0.002 conversion rate, or it doesn't seem like anyone is coming. So how are you able to keep that positive mindset in business?
I think that is so important, that you have to know why you're doing what you're doing, and that you have these goals to create that impact. Because at least for me, or in my experience, it has been like you said, sometimes your conversion rate, you put stuff out there that you think is amazing, and you hear crickets and you're like, oh, everybody hated it. When in fact, we have a whole group of people that just like to watch on the sidelines, and they could be your biggest fan, and they may be with you for a year or 2 years and never say a word. So you don't even know that they're there until suddenly one day they're ready to buy. I think one of the issues that I see a lot with mindset is we have these stories in our heads, and a lot of times they're not even stories that are our stories. They're stories that we kind of inherited as we grow up. And then those are the things that we kind of have to deal with. And you hit that wall, or you hear that thought, and you really have to ask yourself, is this really my thought? Is this my thought, or is this something somebody said to me at some point? Do I really think that I can do this? I do. Let's keep moving forward. And I know right now in the world that we live in, there's something like 10,000 marketing messages thrown at us every day. So a lot of times, most of these thoughts are not even ours. And so, especially on the conversion side of things, you have to think like, we're going to keep moving forward. It takes more touch points. Don't give up yet. Not yet. There's still hope. You can still do this. And what they're finding is that the runway is a lot longer than it used to be, because we're going to have to take the time to build those relationships. And that's a whole mindset thing too. It's like, think of it as I'm dropping pebbles in that bucket, that drop of water that's going to resonate out. And we're going to do whatever we have to do to build those relationships and to truly connect with people.
That's so good. And something that you just said as well, the whole concept of sometimes we think no one's listening. Sometimes you think, I'm putting myself out there, I'm showing up. And it's really the story, because I know many of you can relate. There has been so many times where maybe it was a television show or it was a video, and it goes viral like 7 years after. It's like it just becomes this huge thing. Meanwhile, when it was actually live or first, published, no one even was aware of it. And I've seen that even with some, shows that it was my favorite show, and then it went off the air, and then it ends up on another platform, and it goes like crazy with a fan base. So I love that you said that as well, Kelly. So what about you, Narcissa? What would you say has been like some of your go-to things when it comes to having that positive mindset?
Definitely one of the mottos that I live by is remembering that my life doesn't have to look like anyone else's. So oftentimes we go through hard moments and we're questioning ourselves and we battle with the negative thoughts that come in. But immediately when those thoughts come in, I've learned to speak truth over it. My life doesn't have to look like anyone else's. My journey doesn't have to look like anyone else's. This is my path. This is my business. You know, the people that are assigned to me will come to me in the right timing. And also just reminding yourself and refreshing yourself that there are people in your corner. And I spoke about this the other day on a podcast. I think sometimes we tend to look at for one person, or my friend should be supporting me, or my family should be supporting me. But, you know, let's stop looking for the one and look at the many people that are supporting you. That may not be your family or your best friend, but it can be those people that you've met on social media, those people that are in your business community, those people that are your peers. Those are the many that want to support you. So, you know, as soon as the negative comes in, I've learned, and I encourage other people to feed it with the truth, feed it with positivity, and to not stay there. That's something that has always helped me, like in so many challenging moments that I faced in my life, that the moment comes, I think it's totally acceptable to live in that moment, but to not stay there. I think oftentimes when we have a negative mindset and we feed it, we dig ourselves into a deeper hole and we stay in the negative place longer than we have to. So
Yes.
Bring it in, live in the moment, but immediately feed it with truth and move on to the next.
Yes, it's time to get up. So I'm gonna bring Galit, Kelly, and Dr. India back up. We're gonna have a good time right now because one of the questions that I asked yesterday, and I want to ask you all the same question. When you think about, I mean, and Narcissa, you know I can relate so much. But when you think about that sister or that friend or someone, and maybe they're just a few steps behind where you're at, what advice would you give to someone that maybe they're a few steps back there, but if you could just speak back to them and maybe some of those core things that you think are important that has helped you get to where you're at today, what advice would you give to someone that you care about? Let's start with you, Galit.
So the first piece of advice I would probably give is implement just one little new thing into each day. We get very overwhelmed with the big picture, and something just as simple that most people do not do is a morning routine. A morning routine. I've been doing it my entire adulthood life. I don't know what I did before that. It was a long time ago. But I know even when I had 3 kids under the age of 7, I still made sure I woke up every morning before them. And I still made sure I had my herbal tea. And I still made sure I got dressed and put on my makeup before I just start taking kids to school and getting them dressed and making lunches. So I don't know what your morning routine is. Today, my morning routine is different. I still do not start meetings until 8 o'clock, and I get up early and I have that time to just be with my thoughts and be with myself. And I have to tell you, that's the time that I get the best ideas. And all of a sudden I'm solving problems I couldn't even figure out for days and days. So the first thing I want you to do is just implement something new in each day. One of the things that we don't realize is even if you start the day on the wrong foot, as people like to say, or on the wrong side of the bed, you can restart at any time. And the one excuse that most people use is, I don't have the time. And you know what I say to them, Erica? Do you have time to go to the bathroom? When your stomach tells you, I gotta go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom. So take that time when you go to the bathroom to reset. So start a new routine. And if during the day, you are still in that cycle, or all of a sudden you're in a bad cycle, reset.
That's so good. Y'all, I know y'all may think I get excited about any and everything. I don't. That right there, Galit, changed the trajectory of my life. I remember I was working full time, wanted to get out of it. And that routine, what you just said, is so golden. And y'all, hit rewind, re-listen to what Galit just said, because that is life-changing. And the day is no longer happening to us. And when we get in that mode where the day is just happening to us, we already know. By the time you go to sleep, you don't know if you're coming or going by the end of the day. That's such good advice. What about you, Dr. India? What advice would you give to that good friend or someone a few steps behind you? And you're muted, just in case you don't.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So I have a grit calendar here, and I also have a grit weekly planner. I'd love to probably send that to you, Galit, because of what you're saying. You know, you have to be able to give yourself permission to start over. But I want to say something to those that you're like, well, I want to get started. I have no resources. I have no family. I have no support. You know, myself, I was a single mom. My parents passed away. I didn't have a spouse. And, you know, yet I was still inspired to start my own business and to, you know, author over 60 books. It was not easy. And I was a single parent doing all of this, obtaining a doctorate degree. I had every excuse to play victim, every excuse to feel like, oh, woe is me. But I want to encourage those that are, you know, maybe you're down and out, or maybe you're like, I just don't know. I'm at a fork in the road. I feel like everything has just crashed. I just got fired, you know, just for no reason. I don't have any income. I don't have any resources. I want to encourage you to take grit with you and to be resilient. I want to encourage you to start manifesting by speaking and writing out those things that you want. And also, I'll give you one of my nuggets. James Brown. He wrote a song. Listen to it when you get a chance. And he talks about how he doesn't want anything from any, like, he doesn't want nobody to give him anything. He says, open up the door and I'll get it myself. And you have to have a mindset where you say, just put me at the table. Just open a door for me. I'll go chase that dream. I'll chase that ambition. I'll do it myself. I don't have to beg for anything. I don't have to ask permission for everything. I'm going to release myself into the greatest part of my destiny and get quiet and find out what the will of God is for my life and go and chase it no matter who is with me. Even if I have to stand solo and do this thing by myself, I'm going to get it done. And you have to be able to declare it, decree it, and watch it manifest within that time frame. You have to do that. And that's why I recommend people get a grit calendar, a grit planner, because you're holding yourself accountable as you're manifesting these things and you're going out there and you're getting it yourself. So that's the advice that I have for people is, you know, what if you don't come from, you know, any other resources and you have absolutely zero to work with? Then you need to go out there and you need to get it yourself, get quiet, find out what your purpose is, what it is that you really want to do. Stop denying that truth and go get it. Go make it happen.
Everybody's about to get up and just sprint. Thank you for that. And it's so real because we were talking about this where a lot of times I think it was Ruth that was speaking about waiting, where it's like we're waiting on God, we're waiting and waiting and waiting. And it's like, well, I had an old pastor, he used to say that you waiting on God, God's waiting on you. Like what you waiting for? Like you got the instructions, you have everything, you know, at your fingertips. And as you both have talked about, it's really maximizing the today in the now and just taking care of that. And with each of those daily small compounded actions, so much can come out on the back end. So let's bring you in, Narcisa. What would you say is that advice that you would give to someone who's maybe a few steps behind you?
I would definitely encourage them, like we've all been saying, to have a routine, whether it's a morning routine, an evening routine. One thing for me that I've implemented is finding my time that works best for me, and that's the morning. So getting a good structure, getting a routine, finding your pace, you know, and again, like I said, remembering that your time frame and your pace doesn't have to look like anyone else's. I think oftentimes, you know, what do they say? Comparison is the thief of joy. You know what I mean? So let's stop comparing. Let's understand that our journey, our time frame is not like anyone else's. And also surrounding yourself again with community. That's something that's really big to me. Community is so important because we can't do it alone. No man is an island. You need those that are going to encourage you when you're having that negative mindset. Hey, call your sister, call your friend. This is some encouragement that I need right now to help you along the way. So a routine, community, and staying grounded.
Oh, that's good. I love it. Now, Kelly, I'm going to kind of switch the question up. I still want you to give the advice, but thank you, Andrea, who just put such a great point up. She said, when our cell phones or our laptops are acting up and just won't work, first thing IT reps ask is, did you hit restart? And this is my mother-in-law, so I'm biased, but hey, such a good point. Did you hit restart? And so what I want you to think about is even that reset, because Kelly, I feel like you kind of talked about it where maybe you're not seeing all the results, but that doesn't mean give up, you know, and something about restart is that typically when you restart or reset, it takes you back still to the former point. You don't have to completely delete everything. You're still just starting from where you left off. So Kelly, whether you feel like you want to talk about the restart or even that advice that you would give someone that's maybe a few steps behind where you're at right now.
For me, I love everything that you guys have said, and I try to implement a lot of that into my life. The one thing that I have found to be super helpful, and I would give really good advice, is breathe. Like, put a time to breathe into your day, even if you're, going to the bathroom, because your breath is part of you. And there are ways that, like, if you need to get excited, then, you take a breath in, and one has to be shorter than the other to get you excited. Or if you need to calm down, you take a breath in and your out breath has to be longer so that you can reground yourself. And I think for me, if I was telling somebody, hey, look, I'm just 3 or 4 steps ahead of you. One of my favorite poems is called The Bridge Builder, and it's about an old man who is building a bridge, and someone comes by and says, like, why are you building a bridge? By the time you come back, like, you'll be dead. Like, there's no reason for you to be building this bridge. And he says, the reason I'm building this bridge is there's a kid coming up behind me. So I'm not building this bridge for me. I'm building this bridge for him. And I think that's what we're doing as we, start to do this, and we ground ourselves. Like, there are people behind us, there are people ahead of us. And so we are just trying to do the best we can to show other people, like, this is the path I followed, so maybe this is the path for you. And like Narcissa said, we're not comparing journeys. Each one of us has a journey. And it kind of reminds me of Esther. Like, we're going to do it scary, and we're going to do it. And we maybe don't even know what we're doing, but it's God's will, and we jump in and we do the thing.
So good. That bridge story, that is so good. I don't know how the time went way too fast, but what I want to do definitely is just kind of go around, and is there like one thing that you wish or hope our audience can get, from your message here today? And then we'll kind of wrap up with how we can get connected with you. But before we do that, let's do that final tip. Let's start with you, Galit. What's that you hope everyone walks away with today?
For me, the big one that I love to share with everybody is stop trying to do everything perfect. That was something that I didn't learn until my 30s, and I wish I would have understood it earlier. And when I finally gave that away and recognized it's growth over perfection, everything changed in my life. Like, I can get on stage in front of 500 people, not care if I mess up. I can do everything. Well, a lot of things. And I just think giving up the idea of perfection, and a lot of people wait until everything is perfect before they start, or before they try, or before they launch, or before they reach out to that potential client or that connection. Stop waiting for perfection. It doesn't exist. Give it up.
I love that. And it's so funny. You're like, when I was in my 30s, meanwhile, you're like looking in your 30s. It's like, what?
Oh,
so like
you.
last week.
Too. My youngest is 28. I mean, my oldest is 28 years old. So thank you, Erica.
Wow.
But happiness makes people look young, I think.
Yes. I'm like, it's important that we note that, because when you said that, I'm sure people are watching like, you mean now? Like, no, that's incredible.
See why I surround myself with people like Erica? See what we're talking about here?
I'm telling you, we're trying to surround ourselves with you, get that fountain of youth going for everyone. Dr. India, what would you say? What's that thing that you would hope? I would say that people leave with today, but even anyone that comes in contact with your mission, your purpose, your movement, what do you hope they walk away with?
It's my hope that through their journey of cultivating grit and building grit. See, I'm on a journey of building a grit nation, and I invite all of you guys to join me on this. So you'll never hear me not talk about grit. So, but as you're building grit and you're harnessing grit in your own life, I want to give everybody here permission to stop rejecting themselves and their dreams in order to please others, to be people pleasers, or to, fulfill somebody else's mission while they are broke, busted, and disgusted. I think it's time for them to start harnessing grit, start getting their life back, getting their dreams fulfilled, start going after, the potential partnerships and clients and things like that for their legacy, for their own stamp in life. And we've got to figure out, what is your stamp in life? Why are you here? What is your destiny? And go after it, and stop rejecting that stamp. Stop rejecting who you are and what you're called to be for everybody else. And stop trying to please everybody else. Be okay with who you are in your own skin. Go after your dreams, take grit with you, and go rock it out. So that's my advice for everybody here.
Listen, Dr. Indy is about to have us throwing cameras and laptops. It's go time. That's it. It's just time. I don't care what's going. Throw your shoes if you got to. It's time to get up and go and make it happen. I love it. I love it. Kelly, what would you say? What's that thing that you hope our audience walks away with, or even people that come in contact with you?
For me, it would be to take the messy action, like be brave, get comfortable being uncomfortable, because that is where the growth is. That is where, if you are going to pay to be to feel like you're not the smartest person in the world, because you're going to learn so much and really start to be able to step into that next iteration of you.
That's so good. And there's a quote, I want to say Bob Proctor, he may not have originated the quote, but he would say it all the time, that learners will inherit the earth. Learned will inherit an earth that no longer exists, but learners will inherit the earth. Because if we just commit ourselves to being teachable and open to learning, and not just saying, oh, I got it together. If anyone could sit there and say they got it together, you sitting there with 3+ degrees. Narcissa has started a whole women's movement. Kelly is converting like crazy and helping people with sales. Galit, you've done so much, and I'm just so impressed when I see women like yourselves still showing up, still gleaning from other people, and consistently continuing to learn. So that's just a bonus takeaway. And then Narcissa, what would you say? What's that thing that you hope we walk away with today?
To continue to embrace the uniqueness of your journey. I think I said this countless times, our journey, your individual journey doesn't need to look like anyone else's. And as we are here reminding people to adopt a positive mindset in the lows of life, remember to tap into that strength that's within you, and to use that season to help you grow to the next. I think oftentimes we're in hard moments and we don't realize those are the times that God is pruning us. Those are the time that God is taking the things that we think we don't need and making them the best. And so embrace the uniqueness of your journey, get with community, and just continue to shine bright.
I love it. And speaking of shine, we want to shine super bright and connect with you. So I'll start with you, Narcissa. What would you say? What's that thing maybe that you have on the horizon, or how can we get connected and support what you're doing in this season?
I'm actually excited. I have quite a few things happening in the season for me. Up next, I will be performing in my local Lip Sync for Lungs. It's all about raising funds for the American Lung Association. So I am one of the celebrity performers this year. So I can drop the link. No donation is too small or too big. It's not going to me. It's going to those who are suffering with lung diseases. And in addition to that, yours truly has been nominated locally as one of the Black excellences here in Charleston. So I'll be receiving a nomination for that, and then continue to strive with my content creation and my business. So follow me on Instagram, narcissa.mara, and stay connected.
I love it. Awesome, Narcissa. And we have your link up there as well. So you all get connected. I just love the glow girl. Like that's a whole thing right there. Yeah, I love it. And I know that you really embody it.
Yeah, like I said, in life's, for me, in the hardest moment of my life, I was glowing, and everyone's like, you're glowing. I'm like, I'm going through so much right now. But, God spoke to me. He said, listen, I'm growing you. So in those tough moments, we grow and glow. That's
a t-shirt. You better glow through the go through.
Yeah.
Glow as you go. I love that. That's so good. I'm going to bring you up, Galit, and just, I know you have so many resources too for women. So whatever you feel led to share, but how can we get connected with you, and just what do you have on the horizon right now that you would love people to plug into?
So you can find me all over social media under my full name without the dash, Galit Ventura Rosen, but also you can find me all over social media under Everyday Woman. What we have going on right now is we are about to publish our 10th anthology, Coach's Guide to Success. We do have room if anybody's interested in being an author. We have done 10 books in 3 years, which is crazy, with over 400 women. We also have a great resource for you at everydaywoman.tv.com. We have over 400 episodes with over 90 TV hosts of women that are experts in all areas of life, business, spirituality, fitness, cooking, and everything. So you can just learn from everyday women just like you.
So good. I love that y'all are just so concise. I'm like, shameless plug, and y'all are like, and that's it. Thank you. And Galit, I'll even talk about that too for the Everyday Women Network. I had the amazing opportunity to be interviewed by you on that, and then also to host a show. And the way that you all do everything is top tier. It's so organized. And I know for any of you that have been thinking about, getting your own platform, hosting a show, and even if you already have a show and you're just trying to get your message out even more, you see the link there. You see her name. Get
And
connected.
you can also watch for
in.
free, Erica. So anybody that
Mm.
wants to just watch, it's free. We don't charge to watch the shows. So please go on and learn and connect with the amazing women that have shows on there.
Yeah, it's just such an awesome movement. So thank you, Galit, for sharing that. Dr. India, you are up. And what would you say? What do you have coming up, and how can we get connected and support what you're doing?
Well, yeah, thank you so much again for having me on this platform. It's an honor to just be here with you, rock stars. I'm always thrilled to perform my grit trainings across the globe for different corporate organizations where I come in and I help you guys to have the grit launch where you kick off grit and you're able to build grit using my framework. I would be honored to join you guys on doing a grit training, or even if you're in the education space and you're wanting a grit training, wanting me to come out and provide my workbooks and do some trainings and some sessions with your teachers, your principals, and even your students. And of course, I'm always excited to continue to get on stage as I have a keynote that I'll be doing next week in Indiana. And I'll also be training a Stockton, California school district on grit. And I'm super excited about that. So if you guys are wanting more about grit, the grit training, the grit framework, grit curriculum, I even have an online grit course as well that you're able to take. You can find all of this information on my website, www.india-white.com. Again, that's www.india-white.com. I would be honored to join you guys. Feel free to send me also an email at india.white.123@gmail.com. If you're having questions about, how we could go forward with, moving together and doing some business together, I'd be honored to join you guys. And of course, on Facebook, my handle is Miss India White. And LinkedIn, my handle is The India White. And I'll leave it there. So the India White for LinkedIn, Facebook is Miss India White. Thank you.
I love it. I know they're going to run to your pages, India, because it's time to, I'm telling you, to really step out, and you have such a fire behind your message. I look forward to bringing you back where we can just sit down and go, like I said, do a deep dive into grit, because I just feel the excitement and I know it's such a powerful concept. So thank you so much for sharing on the platform. And finally, Kelly, last but not least, can you share with us what you have coming up on the horizons and how we can get connected and support what you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. On Facebook, it's Kelly Harris Copywriter. On LinkedIn, it is Kelly Harris 208. I'm doing a lot on LinkedIn. So if you need anything, please message me or email me at kelly@kellyharriscreative.com. We have a course that'll be coming out in the next couple of months to teach people how to build their own lead magnet, funnel, sales page, all the things. And I'm going to drop it in the chat here in just a minute. But if you guys want to be on my email list, I would love to be able to give you a resource called the Content Catalyst. And basically what it does is it's 25 questions that you can ask yourself so you can write a little story to really start to build connections with your social media people. So
I love that. Kelly, thank you. You have, again, all of you had so many amazing nuggets. And one thing that still stands out to me, like you said, is really about that consistency. So when we're thinking about that content, when we're thinking about showing up, I love that you really stand for consistency. And that's what brings the results over time, just not giving up in the process. So thank you for sharing those nuggets as well, and for matching today as we're twinning with our colors. For those of you that have been tuning in, thank you so much for participating, for being a part, for dropping your comments, for sharing the love and the just all the good things. If you are inspired by this, if you've been encouraged, tell someone, tag someone. It's never too late to share this, no matter when you're watching. And you can go to amplifyher.net/1010 event if you want to learn more about our speakers. They have some great giveaways that will be going out, and that's only available if you register. It's free to register, but it's a great way to get plugged into more resources. that is officially day 7. Thank you, Galit. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Dr. India. Thank you, Narcissa. You all have been phenomenal. And I'm going to even take some of these notes and apply it to my life moving forward from tonight. And tomorrow is day 8. So set your schedule. We have been going live every day at 7 o'clock Eastern for the 10-10 event, 10 days, 10 interviews, and we only have a couple of days left. So make sure that you just mark your calendar, set the alarm after you get your morning routine popping now, y'all. Your deep breathing and all those things should have you ready by 7 o'clock for these next few days to maximize it. I will see you all for day 8. Make it amazing, you all.